Hello and thanks for being here. I'm Ana Cabrera in New York. Our breaking news. Authorities are questioning the parents of Brian Laundrie, the fiancé of missing blogger Gabby Petito. In this video, we see the FBI escorting Christopher and Roberta Laundrie into their home. This is shortly after executing a search warrant today, and this comes one day after investigators discovered human remains in Wyoming matching Petito's description. She had been on a road trip with her fiancé, and that couple had documented their travels across several western states on social media. Well, that stopped shortly before Laundrie returned home alone on September 1st. CNN correspondent Leila Santiago is on the scene in Florida. What's happening there, Leila, right now?
Well, right now, in the home behind me, where the couple lived and where the parents of Brian Laundrie are still at this hour, we understand the FBI agents are questioning the parents. And this is now about the third hour that they've been doing that. We were here when a caravan of cars pulled in. They surrounded the home, called out that they had a search warrant, went inside. The parents came outside. They executed the search warrant and then brought them back in for questioning. A lot of critical questions remain to get some big answers as to what happened here. The big one being, where is Brian Laundrie? Let's back up for a minute to talk about how we got here. Remember, over the weekend, there was quite a search in a 25,000-acre wildlife reserve because the parents of Brian Laundrie told police that they hadn't seen him since Tuesday, saying that the last time they saw him, they claim he had a hiking backpack on and he was heading over to that reserve for a hike. That claim was made to police on Friday. So that's what set off that search for Brian Laundrie after days that his family claimed they hadn't seen him and they were concerned about his well-being and his whereabouts. But another big thing happened over the weekend. You mentioned it, Anna. Sunday, we heard from FBI in Wyoming saying that they had been searching up there for Gabby Petito. And then we learned from the coroner in the area that they found a body with characteristics that were consistent with Gabby Petito. The family also being notified and now asking for privacy. So quite a bit of developments almost daily here with this story. But the big question remains, where is Brian Laundrie? Police trying to find him, hoping that could give them answers as to what happened here. Now, we expect tomorrow that we could get some more answers because we could see the results from the autopsy report from the body that was found on Sunday in the Grand Teton National Park, Anna.
That's right. They have not given us a cause of death at this point. Again, still waiting on that 100% confirmation that body is indeed Gabby Petito. Leila Santiago, thank you. Please keep us updated. For more perspective now on the investigation, CNN senior law enforcement analyst and former deputy director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, is with us now. First, Andy, the FBI and Florida police, they're executing the search warrant today at Laundrie's home. What are they looking for?
Well, Anna, there's all kinds of pieces of evidence that could be in that house. And let's remember that Brian Laundrie allegedly returned to the house on September 1st. His parents reported on Friday the 17th that he had been missing since Tuesday the 14th. So he's in that house for 2 weeks. Before he goes missing. Primarily, I think what the investigators will be looking for are anything that he may have written, any recordings of his thoughts, of his if he wrote any notes, if he kept a journal, certainly any activity that he might have performed on computer devices. So those are cell phones, tablets, desktop computers, anything that could access the internet, that could show searches that he may have performed, things of that nature. I'm sure all those devices are either being seized or actually mirrored on site, where they take essentially they make a copy of everything that's on that machine, and then they can go back and analyze that stuff in the lab later. They'll be looking for forensic evidence. They'll be looking for anything that he might have had with him on that trip that they might want to look at for hair and fiber evidence, for potentially blood spatter or other other biological evidence. So there's all kinds of things that might be in there. We don't know what's in there yet, but we should find out at some point in the future.
Certainly more questions than answers on many fronts at this hour, but we do know Laundrie returned to this house on September 1st without Gabby Petito. So that is now almost 3 weeks ago. Why wait until now to take this step with this search warrant?
Well, it's a good question. There are, of course, Laundrie is not a subject in a crime, right? We think he is likely one of the last people to have seen Gabby Petito alive, and for that reason, he's a very important witness. He's obviously somebody local law enforcement wanted to talk to. They approached the house several times. They were told that by the family that Laundrie didn't want to speak. They referred to an attorney. So you're always going to make an effort to approach a witness and talk to them on a cooperative basis. That clearly was not happening here right away. Didn't happen at all. And so we're at the point now where the search warrant absolutely has to be executed. We still don't know if Brian Laundrie had any sort of involvement in her death. We should learn more from the autopsy report. But there's a lot of investigation left to do here on it.
I just don't understand, though, how this key person in this investigation could go missing now. How does that happen?
Well, as the family said over the weekend, is he missing or is he hiding, right? Did he go for a hike or did he flee the area? All that stuff starts to look much more suspicious at this point. It sounds like law enforcement did actually recover the vehicle earlier on in this saga, like maybe last week or the week before, and executed some sort of a search in that vehicle looking for evidence. So it's clear that they have been kind of narrowing their focus on Laundrie as they've been going along, but he somehow managed to slip out of their vision, must not have been under surveillance or anything of that nature. And now that is the prime question in this investigation. Where is Mr. Laundrie and when can we get in front of him?
So Gabby Petito, she was a travel influencer. She was documenting their travels on YouTube. That's part of the reason this case caught so much attention nationwide. We know investigators have now received hundreds, if not thousands, of tips from the public about this. Do you think social media has helped or hindered this investigation?
Well, I think it's probably helped bring attention to this case. I mean, let's remember, thousands and thousands of people go missing every year in this country, and very few of them get the kind of attention from the public and from law enforcement, quite frankly, that Ms. Petito has managed to generate. I'm sure some of that is because so many people were following her story on social media. It's probably also more likely now that individuals will recognize having interacted with Mr. Laundrie, because we've had one report today of a couple who allegedly picked him up and gave him a ride as a hitchhiker somewhere out west in the days that he likely left the Grand Teton. So expect more stories like that to arise, and those things are probably likely due to the attention that social media has created around this possible crime.